Welcome to Bass Stadic Fishing. We are heading up to the California Delta. It has been a long time since we fished up there. In fact, it's been over a year and a half. We try to get up there once or twice a year, but for whatever reason, we just haven't been able to get up there for a long time. Now, we're only going to be up there for a couple of days, so what we're going to do is we pack as much fishing as we can into 2 days as possible. We will fish from sun up to sundown on both days. We're staying at the B&W Resort. It's a great place right up there in Isleton. You put your boat into a boat slip. To wake up in the morning, you don't have to put your boat in the water. It's already there. You just jump on and go fishing. Now, when I'm at the Delta, I'm throwing baits that are so much bigger than the stuff I throw down here in Southern California. In fact, my two finesse presentations, one is a Senko. Down here, I'm going to throw a 5-inch Senko. Up there, it's got to be 6-inch or 7-inch at least. Here's an example. This is a 6-inch Senko right here. I put a little O-ring right here on it. And what that does is it keeps the hook from tearing through it. That lets me throw this a little bit longer. This bait will last a little bit more. But I'm throwing 6 or 7-inch Senkos up there. I would never throw a 5-inch. And I predominantly throw green pumpkin with red flake, black flake, purple flake. It doesn't matter. Green pumpkin's just always a great color up there. My other finesse presentation is a drop shot. Now down here in Southern California at Lake Castaic or Piru or Pyramid, I'm throwing 5-pound test. I throw Sunline. I'm going to throw the lightest test I can throw out here. When I'm up at the Delta, my drop shots are either 12 or 14 pound. So we're talking, it's a heavy duty drop shot. And I throw big worms. Down here, I'm throwing 4.5 inch shad shaped worms. Up there, I'm throwing big old 7-inch worms. In fact, look at this bad boy. This is a home pour. This is a 10-inch ribbon tail worm. This is in the color I like to pour. It's got a blue belly and then a purple on top. So blue and purple. I might throw this up there. It's huge. But more often I throw this one here, which is a 7-inch version of that. I throw this quite a bit up there. It catches a lot of fish. Still a pretty big bait for Southern California. At the Delta, nah, that's fine. I also pour a 7-inch worm. A big fat 7-inch worm. And again, this is in my Delta Spirit color. It's blue on one side, purple on the other. I've had a ton of success up there. Another worm I'll throw up there is a 7-inch robo worm, anything purple. This is Morning Dawn. Just make sure it's big, 7 inches or bigger. I would never be throwing small baits up there because those fish, they're aggressive, they're mean, they're a lot of fun to catch. Other things I'll throw, I'm going to throw a top water. I'll probably have a punch bait with me just in case I want to go punching. Have frogs with you in case you want to go frog fishing. What I throw a lot is a craw-colored crankbait. Let me show you that one. So here is a craw-colored square-billed crankbait. I'm going to throw this up against riprap. Anywhere where I can bounce this on some rocks, it's lethal up there. The only problem with this square-billed crankbait, especially at low tide, is there's a ton of grass and reeds and weeds, and this thing's going to catch all of it. So on low tides, I don't throw this. I'm going to be throwing a chatterbait at that point. That chatterbait does a great job of coming through the reeds, the grass. For whatever reason, just the way it's angled, it seems to not catch the grass. And if you do get into some grass, just pop it loose. It pops out and it starts swimming right away again. So that's a great low tide bait. Those are predominantly the things I plan to throw when we're up there. Come with us. We're heading up to the Delta. Hopefully we catch some fish. Yep. There we go. And you don't have a net yet, so you're lifting it. This was our first afternoon out there. We just put the boat out to test it out, make sure everything's running great. Fished just a little bit, but Darren hooked into this first fish. Well, it still could be both. Let's see him. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good fish. He's a legit. Yeah. But yeah, when he came out of the grass, he's not as big. But that's a good fish. And it's, oh, no, that's a good fish, Darren. That's way better than we thought. All right. Sweet. Okay. We're on it. For whatever reason, my GoPro has got terrible sound when I hook it up to the back of the boat. So for this part of the video, I'm going to start to kind of give you some insight as to what we were fishing and why we were fishing it. Just to give you a little more insight as to what's going on this fishing trip. Go back with Cool. Look how fat he is. Oh, so sorry. I think he is. Yeah, he's fat. Chunky. Got about 11 minutes into the day. 2-4. He's fast. Yeah, he's chunky. Walking back from the All right, first fish of the day, which is a $6 fish because of the different prices we put on that thing.
Side bet.
Side bet, reel bet.
Win early, lose late.
So that first fish got Darren $6. He gets $1 for catching the first fish of the day. He gets $5 for catching the first 2-pounder of the day. So not a great start for me. But then I hooked into this fish pretty quick after that. This was also on a chatterbait. I was using a green pumpkin trailer. These baits are great because they fish through the reeds and through the grasses. So when other stuff is getting stuck underneath, these chatterbaits were working great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, big. Yes, sir. It's a few minutes too late. It's so big.
You need help? You got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, we're getting good fish. Good Delta bass. There we go. Nice and fat. Thank you, bud. Oh yeah, you know what? You don't look like you're real big, you know, but
How can you not like that?
I know. I just happened to look up right as you did that too. Right here, Darren hooked into the first topwater bass of the day. He ended up getting a couple of topwater bass, and he also had a few blow up on it. So topwater, it's strange. He throws it at times where there's nothing boiling. There just seems to be no reason to throw it. But Darren seems to manage to get the fish to come up when he throws that topwater, and this was the first of those topwater fish. Nothing else. I'm getting weed every cast. Drop the bass. Oh,
He's like, no, thank you.
Alright, topwater. Yeah.
There was another one came up.
I saw that, which is why when I saw the second one come up, I thought, this has to be big. Come on, that's where a fish lives right there. It keeps dragging on something. Oh, there it is. And he was where he should have been.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right where about the reach. Right on that. Dude, I think that's a good fish. He's definitely not a dink. Oh, she's going up here.
Right where he's supposed to. That's a good one. 2.5.
Yeah, let me see. 2.5. This was my first Senko bass of the trip. That's a 6-inch green pumpkin with red flakes Senko. I throw a wacky rig, tossed it right up against the reeds. The fish came, of course, right there at the reed and caught it. So a nice fish, a nice Senko fish right there for us.
Oh, there's another one. That one's small.
That's a small one. After a couple of blow-ups where the fish came up, didn't take the bait, Darren hooked into this one right here, so it was his second topwater fish. Pretty much the same location, fishing these little islands that were out in the middle of the slough. I want to say this was Sycamore Slough up in the northern end of the delta, but second topwater fish coming in right here. There's a fish to catch right here. It was time for the drop shot to come into play. Now I'm using a heavy duty drop shot for this. I've got 12-pound test on this rod. I'm also using a 2-aught octopus hook. So this is kind of a heavy duty drop shot gear setup right here. Now I've also got a 7-inch worm on there. This is a robo worm. This particular color I threw for this fish was a Morning Dawn, and here's the fish. Darren was back at it on this fish with a chatterbait. I think it was the same color that he threw for the one earlier. Quite a few chatterbait fish. This area, particularly this area, was real good with chatterbaits because of all the weeds, of all the stuff that the other baits were getting caught on. I was throwing the croc-colored crankbait. You can kind of see it hanging there in the side of the boat. And that thing would pick up weeds all the time. So it was tougher to fish, especially when the tide was lower. Once the tide came up, then my crankbait came into play. But at this stage of the game, it was definitely a chatterbait bite, and here's Darren's fish.
You hit it so hard that, like, my line just went totally slack. That was vibrant. Ah, that's one hit. Come here. And boom. That one smashed. Thanks, bud.
Oh, you got one? You got one.
This was our second full day of fishing. It was a slow morning. We didn't really start catching them till late morning. This was another drop shot fish here. Again, this is the morning dawn color that I was throwing. It's a 7-inch worm. It was our first fish of the day, so I'm glad to get it because it took a little while to catch this one.
You know what? Go back. What's wrong with me? There's a lot more options here than just the regular. Oh.
I told you.
Oh, dude, look at that one.
I told you. It's about to happen right here. Seconds before Darren hooked into this fish, I said, man, we are going to catch one right here. I was kind of thinking me, but it turned out to be him. And this was the only drop shot fish he caught on this trip. He decided to toss a drop shot right up there against the shore. This was a nice fish, and it was the money fish because it was 2 pounds plus, so he got the $5 for the second day as well.
Throw him up there. All right. Good fish.
I was telling you, this is it.
Still is. Pop back.
Draw straws. You're getting left back. No, that music's not ours. That was a ski boat that just went past us with 5 dudes in it playing their music loud and creating a little wake for us. But maybe that action there was what got this fish to bite my drop shot once again. I think I caught all my fish on that robo worm this trip, that 7-inch morning dawn robo. So here is my second, I think this is my second drop shot fish.
Picking a worm? Of course you are. These are the little ones.
Little teeny guy.
I mean, good, but of course it's happening when I got it. What's that?
It's jig hook. It's like a jig hook. Oh, pretty good.
Almost got it. That's him.
Oh, that's super. No, it's a big one.
That's a real ugly squaw.
Dude, that's not what I want.
He is big. There ain't no doubt about that.
Dude,
It'd take you forever to get him.
I thought it was big.
Oh, he's huge. He was like this big old carp. That is a big fish.
Darren hooked into the big old dreaded squaw fish. In fact, after this fish, we made a new rule that anytime you hooked into a squaw fish, you owe the other guy $2. This was my first crankfish of this trip. Not really, it was my first decent crankfish of this trip. I had hooked into several little guys that were not much bigger than the bait itself. So when this guy came in, it was a relief. Finally, a real fish caught with the crankbait.
Not quite. But good fish nonetheless.
This crankbait fish came in just a few seconds after that last one. This was the size I was catching up until this point. Just these little teeny fish that would come and attack my crankbait. They would chase after it. They were real aggressive, but nothing to get excited about. All right, here it comes. Take a look right over Darren's shoulder right there. You see that giant yacht that's coming right at us? For whatever reason, it just really appeared that guy decided to turn to get as close to us as he possibly could. The people on the back of the boat, they were smiling like they knew it was coming. But of course, for a bass boat, when you get a big old yacht like that coming right next to you, it's going to create some pretty huge waves.
No, I think.
Yep.
Got another one?
This started a little string for me of drop shot fish. In fact, I caught a few of them right in this little area. This one came on again, that 7-inch worm. It was a killer worm. When you're drop shotting up here, just be thinking big. Be thinking 7 inches or bigger. Don't be throwing the little finesse lines like 5 or 6 pound test. You don't want to do that. You want to throw a bigger test line. This fish wasn't great, but it was still nice to catch that guy right there on the end of that point with my drop shot. And like I said, this was just the first of a couple that came right here in a short period of time. Oh, slammo! Slammo! That's a good fish.
Oh, it's a squaw.
He's swimming at me now, so.
Slamming it so hard.
That's easy 3. Oh, you heartbreaker. He's not quite 3.
Oh.
Just under. Well, we are back. We caught some fish. We did not catch any giants, but we caught a lot of 2 to 3 pound fish. A lot of fun. The Delta is always a lot of fun. We did have a special guest with us this time. When you come into the B&W Resort, and I don't know if this guy's there all the time, but he was there the whole time we were up there. It's a sea lion, and I named him Winston. And what he does is as soon as you turn in to come into the harbor there at B&W, he follows you in. He'll just pop up right behind your boat. And what he's looking for is, I guess there's a fish cleaning station right there on the end of the dock. And he just sits there waiting for people to throw him the scraps as they clean their fish. But he was there every time we left or came in. He comes up and he'll get right next to your boat. The kids loved him. You'd see the kids up on the dock just waving at him. So he seems to be kind of a pet now for the B&W Resort. The bad news is there's a lot of sea lions up there. Sea lions eat the bass, so it's not a good thing. We saw a bunch of them at Tower Park just sitting up on the boat docks. Not cool. But this guy, I named him Winston. I did. He found a place in my heart because he just seemed so friendly. He'd come up and just look at you. Sometimes he'd scare you. You'd hear him snorting right behind you. You're like, oh, there he is. But a cool sea lion here. I'm going to show him to you real quick, and then that'll be the end of this video. Hey, thanks for coming with me. I'll see you guys next time on Bass Stag Fishing. Winston, my main man. That's my buddy Winston right there. You are a good looking sea lion. I don't have anything for you and I feel like a jerk right now.